What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Well, I've decided that I'm going to play around with the British battleships. I had such a good time in the British cruisers are actually probably my favorite line right now. So I decided why not pursue the battleships as well. So this is going to be primarily a Tier 3 battle, a few Tier 4s out there in the map straight domination mode. So the British battleships, this is the Bellerophon, this is the Tier 3.
Show 'em what we've got, chaps.
How would I characterize it? Well, primarily laid back, cruising devastation. You have to decide that you're not going to get anywhere fast, although they are a bit faster than the same tier American and German lines. I believe that the Bellerophon will cap out around 21 knots, whereas the Germans and the Americans are limited to sub 20 knot transit. So yeah, you're gonna get there a little bit quicker than the Americans, but not too much quicker. A 15-kilometer maximum range on the guns makes it usable, but I really found that I liked being at about a mid-range on this ship. So we spawned on the south side. We have a Wyoming and a St. Louis down here with us. We have a Phoenix, a V-170 making like mad toward B, and a Wix. Most of the battle is going to be fought down here on the south side, and this map really has a little bit of everything for everyone. It has big wide open spaces for the battleships, it has nice islands for the cruisers and the destroyers, although it kind of sucks when you're playing a cruiser trying to take either A or C cap. You know, you really have to kite away and not do what our Phoenix is doing and rushing right there in the middle. You really don't want to be first if you're in a cruiser on this map. So we're spawning the enemy corvette. I decided early on that I'm going to head more toward the north of this side. I see on this map a lot of times islands or battleships wanting to get in knife fight around those islands to the south there, and I didn't want to really get caught in that. I wanted to have room to take cover if I needed to, but also be able to swing around on that enemy's side. Try to present as many broadsides to me as possible. So we're going to put out some shots on this vampire. Anytime I see a destroyer, I never pass up the opportunity to take those shots. Especially right now, if you see a vampire. If you see a vampire in game, you know the person's a more experienced player because the vampire came out last October, so you know they're not a complete noob. So all things being equal, shoot the vampire, shoot the Agua, shoot those premium destroyers first. I'm going to put out some shots on this corvette, testing out that legendary British high explosive. This thing has a 40% fire chance. That's more than twice the Nassau. So, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. You can really rack up some DOT damage on this ship. But the armor piercing is also just devastating. So don't fall into the trap of shooting only HE. The AP can be really effective. And NASA over here showing not quite a full broadside, a little bit of an angle, but we're going to take a few shots on it. Maybe set a fire on him. Yeah, this just cruising along. The Bellerophon really, I don't know, man. It feels like a Sunday afternoon drive with guns. There we go. Have our first fire. Taking some shots from that St. Louis over there. Some shots coming in. It's either from the vampire or I believe there's a Freon on this side as well that we've lost track of. Oh, that hurt. Okay, another fire on the corvette. Nassau, we're starting to get focus fired here, and that's because we're the battleship in front. See that Phoenix lost the fight there pretty early. If you're in a light cruiser, man, don't be first into the cap. You're not in a destroyer. You're not meant to contest cap, so you're not helping the team at all by getting killed. So we burned our first heal, and that's one of the really strong points of the British battleship line. Take a shot at this corvette again. I got a couple over. The island ate most of them. But yeah, the heals on this British line are just really good. Had 2 fires going, so we're going to put out our repair party. Have the St. Louis, there's that Friant, there's the Vampire. Trying to decide which one I want to take out. If you're in a battleship, you don't want to run aground here. If you're in a battleship, really any ship, go for the easy kill first. And that St. Louis is turning broadside to me with armor piercing mode. That's a mistake he's going to regret. Alright, he's wearing that last season's Halloween camo. Oh, Citadel, you know that hurt. Look at that. Nuked him down. See if we can finish him off. Grim Reaper picked up first blood as he got taken out. Looks like he probably traded. Alright, so guns are coming back up. St. Louis is still sailing broadside. Yeah, that's that last Halloween's camo there. So you know he's got some experience, but not enough apparently. Boom goes dynamite. He is gone. 2 penetrations. Alright. So let's reassess here. That Friant looks tasty. The corvette is selling broadside to us, so of course never pass up the opportunity to shoot a broadside target. That British armor piercing doing a good job. Oh, he's shooting back at us. We're presenting a little bit too much broadside to him. But let's go ahead and get those shots out. A couple of pins. Not too bad. And that Friant is starting to light us up. Now the French have a pretty good fire chance. The French don't ever discount their guns. They have good fire chance. They have good armor piercing. Kind of a long reload time for a cruiser. The French cruisers are kind of like an American and a Japanese line had a baby. So we're going to throw some armor piercing at him, but we want to wait. He's starting to turn a little bit. Let's see if he can turn broadside to us. He looks like he wants to go that way. There he goes. Now fire. Sometimes it's better. There you go, Citadel. Sometimes it's better to hold fire and wait for the perfect shot.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
And at that 8-kilometer range, 9-kilometer range, I wasn't too worried about those shots overpinning. If you shoot the broadside of a French cruiser at closer range, odds are you're going to overpin and not do a lot of damage. Ooh, he got taken out. Wyoming finished him off. Alright, so we're going to focus on this wounded corvette. We're going to try to finish this person off. Another penetration. V-170 has torpedoes out toward him, and it looks like the corvette is driving right into him. We still have an almost full health Nassau. And that pesky Vampire doing a good job keeping that cap secured. The enemy is up substantially on points at this time. They're also up on ships. And if we don't do something, we're going to lose this fight. Those guns are pointed right at me. Can we finish him? Yes, we can. Alright. Kill number 2. 49,000 damage. And we have taken quite a beating. Now we're only 7 kilometers away from that Nassau. And that Nassau has 4-kilometer range, I believe, on its secondaries. So for us, that's going to be the magic number. We want to stay outside 4 kilometers on this guy. We don't want to face his secondaries. Looks like he's turning. We're going to take the shot. Switched over to high explosive. I have no idea why. That really should have been armor piercing. If that had been armor piercing, with him turning out like that, we may have picked up a Citadel, but I highly doubt it. We definitely would have done more damage than the high explosive. But nonetheless, we still picked up a few shots. And it's a good thing that we have the high explosive loaded. I'm deciding here that I really want to keep the HE loaded. The Nassau is angled away from us, so the HE is going to do a better job. That would go 5 shatters, 1 pin, but 1 fire started. The reason I really want to keep that high explosive loaded is that vampire is engaging, and it looks like he's trying to chase down the Wyoming. So we want to be available to assist that Wyoming against that vampire. We're going to continue to shoot at the Nassau. I did switch back over to AP, which was a bonehead choice on my part. I was kind of expecting that Nassau to continue to show some broadside, but we did pick up 1 pin. Tier 3, the dispersion is never on your side. The tier 3 dispersion on all the battleships is just horrid. Alright, I'm going to turn the ship, shoot that other wing mount. Wait for it. The other gun was about set up there. We can put a couple more shots on him. I was kind of hoping to finish him off, but alas, no. That's alright. Now we're reloading the high explosive. We're going to focus on this vampire. I really did not expect our Wyoming to survive this. He's taken some pretty heavy damage from that vampire, and that vampire is definitely within his torpedo range. You're about to see some good dodging come up. Watch this Wyoming. Vampire moves in. Very good lineup for his. Put some shots out on him. 2 penetrations and a fire. Here come the torpedoes at the Wyoming. Wyoming pulls off an excellent dodge. Look at that. Awesome.
Torpedoes to port.
Vampire has good guns. It has the British single launch torpedoes, but it only carries 3 torpedoes. So, yeah, Wyoming managed to dodge all 3 of them. And now the V-170 is pushing in on that Vampire. We're going to see if we can't finish him off. Our high explosive is up. We're just ready for him to pop back into view. V-170 pushing the smoke, reveals the Vampire. It's like he's backing up a little bit. Take aim and let her rip. Bye-bye Vampire. 3 penetrations, 2 fires. Down he goes. Alright. So the Wyoming and the St. Louis are pushing into Cap C. We are closing in on points. We are definitely up on ships. The only thing left is a Kaiwachi. So we're going to swing around slowly, cruising, leisurely taking our time. And now the hunt is on for that Kaiwachi. We're less than 600 points, so there's plenty of time left in the game, 7 minutes. We should be able to find and kill this guy. So I'm wondering, all right, where is he? Where is he going to go? Where would I go? Now this Kaiwachi, really don't know what his health looks like right now. Have the heal, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So at this point, you know, I'm initially pushing towards C. I realize, yeah, I'm probably not going to make it in there to get an assist cap on that. But I'm looking at the mini-map, and I'm wondering, okay, if I was a Kaiwachi in his shoes, what am I going to try to do? I know that we've lost the fight, and there's no way that he's going to face off against 2 battleships, a cruiser, and a destroyer. So I'm thinking he's probably in survival mode, and he's probably going to continue to head west toward those islands. So that's where I'm going to angle for, is that gap. Turns out I'm going to be wrong, but that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. So Valak Rain throws out there, just meet us in the middle, make it faster. So it turns out this guy is actually going to take that advice, and he's going to yellow charge us. You'll see him pop up here in a minute. But at this point in the game, I'm still thinking, you know, head west, maybe intercept him over there. So this is the life of the battleship at end game, you know, slow cruising, just taking your time. It is 180 degrees apart from destroyer gameplay. Light cruiser gameplay, where it's zipping. I told my team I'm heading west. Um, that light cruiser destroyer gameplay where you're just zipping around from one end of the map to the other. You have to, especially the low tier battleships. Some of the high tiers and the Japanese battleships that can get upwards of 30 knots. Those guys can really control the board and move around at will. For the majority of battleships, however, you just have to pick a course and stick with it. You'll get there eventually. There's the Kaiwachi starting to show up here. We have HE loaded, so we're going to go ahead and throw out this salvo, kind of take a guesstimation shot over this island so that we can get that armor piercing loaded back up. And the reason I did that, the Kaiwachi was showing a little bit of broadside there. He's turning in now. So now it's just a race to the middle to see who's going to get this kill. Want to head around the southeastern side of this little island. Meet this guy right around the middle. He's starting to turn out, give us a little bit of broadside. We're going to throw out our shells. Those look pretty good. They weren't. One shatter. That's okay. They'll be up again in 17 seconds. Now take a look at those turrets, those bottom turrets 4 and 5. The real drawback to the British line is that turret traverse. It is painfully slow. If you intend to turn, you need to go ahead and get those turrets turning ahead of time. So you have to plan your maneuvers in this ship. Hopefully they'll be there by the time we get on the other side of this island.
Victory is in sight.
St. Louis is just peppering that Kaiwachi. Just took a torpedo, looks like. We're going to throw some armor piercing at him. And down he goes. That's it, folks.
We sank their battleship.
Okay, so what do I have to say about the Bellerophon? I like it. The turret traverse leaves a lot to be desired, but a 40% fire chance is insane, especially at a tier 3. So the Bellerophon really likes to engage at that mid-range distance. Its range is good enough at this tier that you can engage at max range of 15 kilometers, although I really felt more comfortable at that mid-range, about that 10 to 12 kilometer range. Don't really want to get too close, so your secondaries are not that good, but the armor piercing felt really good. The high explosive, of course, felt amazing. So this fight, we received 93,186 credits, 3,078 experience, 616 free experience. We picked up Dreadnought. That's one good thing about the British destroyer line, is their heal. The heal that they received is really good. 68,259 damage. It's a tier 3 fight, so that's not amazing, but it wasn't bad. Picked up 2 citadels, 44 shells on target with 25 penetrations, 1 incapacitated module. We picked up 4 kills and set 6 fires. Looking at the leaderboard, we did pick up MVP. The MVP on the enemy team was the Phoenix there with 2 kills. Taking a look at the detailed report, we absolutely wrecked that St. Louis. That's where we got our Citadel shot, our first Citadel from. Sank the Corbeil, the Vampire, and finished off that Kaiwachi. We dealt significant damage to the Friant and the Nassau. Of course, our damage came from our main batteries. The distribution there, the majority of it, 60,000 from high explosive, and then 45,000 from our armor piercing. But if you look at that, 45,000 from 25 armor piercing shells. A lot of people, they want to concentrate entirely on the high explosive on the British line, and that's a mistake. The British do have rock solid armor piercing. So if you get that perfect broadside, switch over and sling AP all day long. We also received 8,000 damage from 6 fires. We had 643,700 potential damage, so we were really being focused on by the enemy team, especially down on our flank. And just a quick peek at the credits and XP. There you go. So I am really excited about the British battleship line. I've really enjoyed the cruiser line. So figured, hey, might as well throw the battleships in there. Well, that wraps it up for this one. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in game.